Yeah, man,
Yeah.
it was fun. I still have some animated shows that I want to circle back to that I've never seen. I'm looking at like a list of the best animated shows of all time.
Mm.
I have never seen the Boondocks.
I've seen parts of the Boondocks. I think my brother actually has seen like most of it. Shout out to my brother, who's a listener of this podcast. If you're listening to this, leave a comment, leave a like, and subscribe to the
Shout out
channel.
Edzilla.
Yeah. But I think he's watched most of the Boondocks. I know he really likes that show.
Yeah, yeah, I got to check out the Boondocks. I've never seen that. Taking a look here at the list. Dude, I've never seen King of the Hill. I've
I've
never.
seen some of King of the Hill because King of the Hill is weird because King of the Hill is like doesn't have like that same kind of appeal that The Simpsons had
Mhm.
because King of the Hill is just a little bit more dry. And I say this because again, growing up, it would be that they would play The Simpsons and King of the Hill like back to back. And
Yeah.
whenever King of the Hill would come up, I'd be like, I'm done watching TV. So whenever The Simpsons come back around in half an hour, I'll watch The Simpsons. I could never get into King of the Hill because, like, as a kid, it was just like so dry, you know. But knowing just how funny Mike Judge is, I too want to give that show a shot.
Yeah. Yeah, because Mike Judge is the shit, man. Office Space, just
Yeah.
Office Space alone. I mean, he's awesome, dude. Um, so here, this is. I'm just looking at through. These are some of the animated. I want to hear your animation, quote unquote, to do list, like to watch. These are some of mine, just from looking at a list of top animated shows. I gotta watch the
Mhm.
Boondocks. I still need to watch King of the Hill. Um, I do want to. I want to check out Adventure Time. I never got into Adventure
Adventure Time
Time.
is great. I've seen all of Adventure Time.
I need to get into it because you know me. I love regular show. Like that regular show was
Yeah.
my shit. That was sort of like that was almost kind of a cousin to Adventure Time. I feel like I always
Yeah.
felt like
They
those
were airing at
shows.
the same time for
Yeah, they came around at
yeah.
the same time. They were both kind of popular with the same sort of audiences. I felt like they're very different shows, but
Mhm.
obviously, I'm a regular show nut. I have I have like a big book of the art of regular show in my room.
Mhm.
Um, I need to watch. I'm looking through the list here. I need to watch Beavis and Butthead. That's another Mike Judge one. I
Mhm.
haven't really seen Beavis and Butthead.
That's where I've only seen a couple of episodes. I
Yeah,
also should probably check out that show.
yeah, yeah. Um, what else was
Mhm.
on here? There were some other ones that I was meaning to check out. Oh, Space Ghost Coast to Coast. I've always kind of wanted to check that. A couple episodes of
Space
that.
Coast, Coast, Coast.
I know
I
that
think
was
I've
like
only seen
Eric
one episode of that
Andre.
show.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that was like Eric Andre's big
yeah,
influence, I think.
yeah.
But what else? What else is here? Yeah, that's pretty much what's catching my eye here. But
Yeah.
and as for just from this list from animated shows that I love that I would recommend to people, it's tough if you didn't grow up on them too, because it's just like a lot of
Yeah.
these you grew up on them. They might not have the same appeal if you go into them kind of like cold as an adult. But
Yeah.
unless you have a real appreciation for animation, like we do, we have an excuse because we're film school graduates, so we could watch
Yeah.
cartoons. No, 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 I'm just
We
kidding.
can watch cartoons. We don't
Yeah.
need no kids.
Nah, don't listen to anyone that tells you not to watch cartoons, man. Cartoons are great.
Yeah.
But nah, man, I loved like just taking a look at this. Man, Batman the animated series was the shit. Um,
Yeah.
what else from this list? Regular show. Gotta love regular show. I'll still put on regular shows sometimes, just like man, just cheers you up. Um, ooh, Cowboy Bebop. I love Cowboy Bebop.
Mm.
Freaking let me see what else is on here on this list. I like Archer. Archer's fun. Archer's
Generator Rex, dude. I recommend that to everybody.
Oh yeah, dude, Generator Rex was great, man. I liked that when I was a
Generator
kid.
Rex was amazing.
Dude, it
Like I
was
love that show, dude.
yeah, man. It was awesome.
Love that show. It was so imaginative, just so like when I was a kid, like when I watched Generator Rex, I just thought that it was like the most like imaginative show. I
Yeah,
was like, this is such a great idea for a kids show. I loved it, dude.
yeah, yeah. Because I was a huge Ben 10 fan when I was a kid. I loved Ben 10,
Mm.
and then the Ben
So
10
was
Alien
I. Yeah, I had
Force.
a video game for it too.
I did too. Yeah, those were fun
Yeah,
too.
yeah,
Turning into the aliens and
yeah.
stuff. That
Getting
was
into the aliens, dude. Yeah, that was great. I love those. I love those video games. I love the show. I watched like all of the like as you know, and I think you did the same too. I watched all of like the original one and the teenage one and the movies. I just like watched like all this Benton shit, man.
oh
It was
yeah,
Benton was the shit. It was another one of those like this is such a great thing because they just like taps like those shows were so good at like tapping into kids' imagination
yeah,
and just being like yes, kids. Every kid wishes they had a watch that they could tap and that would turn them into like a superhero. Every kid, you know.
yeah.
So yeah,
Yeah, exactly. What Ben 10 got right too. There was something. There's something about Ben 10's sort of powers that because he has this. It was like they're quote unquote powers, but they're not really powers. It's more like this device that has this biomechanical connection to him that can alter his DNA or whatever to turn him into an alien. And there was something
mm,
about that where it was like when you watched him do that and watched him in these situations, it's like it was just there was something about that where it's almost like when you're a kid, right? And it's like, oh, I'm just a regular kid, but if I put on this Superman cape, I'm Superman. It kind of tapped into that, but
mm,
with aliens instead of a Superman cape, where it was like, okay, he's just a helpless, like ignorant 10-year-old, but then bam, he can turn into forearms and just like wreck shit,
mm,
or heat
yeah,
blast and set shit on fire, all that shit. It was great, man.
yeah,
But I agree,
yeah,
Generator Rex was awesome too because that was by the same
yeah.
creators, the Man of Action Studios, and Generator Rex was awesome, man. That was super
It was
underrated.
awesome.
Had a
Yeah,
great villain too. I still remember his name,
yeah,
Van Kleiss, and they had those
yeah,
three. He had those three goons that were with him all the time. It was like that
yeah,
four-armed, creepy, like grudge girl. And then there was that
yeah,
like big lizard-looking thing, and then that werewolf thing that
yeah,
followed him around. Yeah,
yeah,
they were great villains, man. They were scary. We
yeah.
had, yeah, Generator Rex was great, man.
It was great, dude. It was great. If there's anything anybody should leave from here as me making recommendations for animated shows, Rex, check that shit out. Just that and like Adventure Time. For me, it's like, oh, those are such great shows.
Oh yeah, yeah. Check them out, man. Yeah, and I did like as a kid, like elementary school. I did like I was a Cartoon Network kid, man. So everything we're talking about now was on Cartoon Network. But I loved Foster's Home for Imaginary Friends. That was a good one. Um, I liked Phineas and Ferb. That was a good one too. That just
Yeah, but
popped up
it
on
was
here.
good. It was good for a while, that show.
It was fun, man. Disney Channel
Yeah.
came through with a good cartoon.
It did. It did. With that one. It came through with that one. I actually like really liked watching that show. It was like always so entertaining.
Yeah, absolutely. And then I loved we had I don't did you have Boomerang when you were a kid, that station?
It did, yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
Boomerang
Yep.
was great cuz they
I watched
played all
that.
the old stuff.
Oh yeah, exactly, dude. I watched so much old shit through that because through that, that's
Yeah, I
how I
did too.
watched like Dexter's Laboratory.
Mhm.
That's how I watched Johnny Bravo. That's how I watched like the Jetsons. Just like a bunch of shows. The
Flintstones.
Powerpuff Girls. I watched them on Boomerang.
Yeah. What
Yeah,
else? Yeah, Did I say
Pinky and the
Flintstones?
Brain. Yeah, the
Yep.
Flintstones. Yeah,
Scooby
Ed, Ed
Doo.
and Eddie. Dude, yeah, loved all those shows, man.
Yep. We had Looney
But one
Tunes.
show that
Fucking
I
loved
know,
Looney
one show
Tunes.
that I know you haven't seen, one show that I know you haven't seen that
What?
I think I've recommended this to you like over the years. I think this is your version, my version of Hannibal for you, and it is Avatar: The Last Airbender.
Oh yeah, man. Fuck.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
Dude, I've
terrible.
seen Avatar: The Last Airbender like 10 times. I love Avatar: The Last Airbender.
Oh, dude, you know what just popped up on here? Fucking Super Jail.
Oh yeah,
Dude, Super Jail's the best
yeah,
thing. What probably one of the best things you've
yeah,
recommended to me. Like Super Jail's
yeah. Oh yeah.
awesome, man.
Oh, yeah, yeah, that's right. Because I recommended you that. Because I know that you didn't get into China, Illinois, which is another one that I swear by. Another one that my brother introduced me to. My brother introduced me to China, Illinois, and Super Jail. So shouts out to him. My brother has great taste on animated shows because he's like introduced me to a bunch of them.
Yeah.
But China, Illinois, to me, it's like a one of those like 9 out of 10s. Like if you have that humor, like if you can follow that show, it's the greatest show ever made. I love it. I love it. And you know that I've quoted so many jokes from that. And the Super Jail is just the most just like deranged show ever. Great
is.
animation, super funny, incredibly just deranged, just off kilter, unhinged show. But it's
Yeah.
great.
So
Yeah.
yeah, for those listening, Super Jail was on Adult Swim for 4 seasons, according to this. Dude, it's on HBO Max too. HBO Max came through with the cartoons. They have
Yeah.
all the Cartoon Network, Warner Brothers stuff. Dude, they have all the
Yep.
Godzilla movies on HBO Max too. Like, dude, HBO
Yeah.
Max has been treating me right. But Super
Yeah.
Jail, Super Jail is about this like basically mega prison, and it's super cartoonish. Like the creator said he was really inspired by Looney Tunes, and he listed out all the inspirations for the show, and it was like a list of 20 different cartoons and cartoonists and animators. But he cited like all of the classic cartoons as influences on Super Jail, and but it's like super violent, and each episode
Yeah.
is what the warden just comes up with a new kind of like torture, not exactly torture, but like just torment for the prisoners.
Yeah.
Like he's like, oh, this
Either torment
episode
or
I'm
just,
gonna
like,
release.
gimmick. Yeah.
Yeah, gimmicks, exactly. It's like, oh, in this episode, I'm going to release hordes of like hornets into the prison. And then,
Yeah.
but then there's like
And the
those
warden is
twins
just like
that
yeah.
foil
Yeah, and
all
he's
of it.
exactly, yeah, and he's just like this weird character where he's just like the Willy Wonka guy
Yeah.
that is just like so full of just like this weird enthusiasm, and none of what he does comes like he doesn't express anything of what he does as it being like in any way, shape, or form wrong or immoral or anything. He's
Yeah,
just
he's
like,
like
this
a
is what we're doing
complete
today.
psycho.
Yeah. Yeah, he is completely. Yeah. Great
man.
show, dude. I'm looking at like other like old Disney ones. American Dragon, Jake Long, loved that show.
I didn't see too much of that.
Recess,
Oh,
really?
Recess
Oh,
was
I love
great.
that. I loved American Dragon. Yeah, and Recess was great. I loved Recess. Like all these shows, man, so nostalgic. You know what we should do? We should quit our jobs.
I just watch
And
cartoons
we should
and
just
smoke pot.
we should just watch cartoons all day, dude. We should watch cartoons and eat Fruit Loops.
Dude, that's the thing though. Sometimes I'll do that. Like if it's if I feel like, oh, I've been working hard, I've been doing well, I've been adulting, Sometimes, man, I'll
Yeah.
wake up on a Saturday, I'm like, you know what? Fuck it. I'm gonna grab a big bowl of freaking cereal and watch cartoons like a
Dude,
dumbass.
yeah.
I
Yeah.
love it, man.
That's,
You gotta
that's what
treat
we make it,
yourself.
man.
Yeah.
Yeah, you do. Absolutely.
You gotta treat
Absolutely.
yourself. I'm taking a look
I'm
here,
with
dude. You know what else was the shit? The Pink Panther show. That was the
Oh, the
shit.
Pink Panther. Absolutely. Yeah.
Pink
Absolutely.
Panther. So much
Absolutely.
fun, man. The Pink Panther
Yeah.
was good because it was like there was something just so low key about it. They just had that song playing through every
Dun-dun,
episode.
dun-dun, 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 yeah.
Yeah,
Yep.
it was so
I love
low
the Pink
key.
Panther.
It just there was
Yeah.
something weird about it where you felt like you were. I don't know. When I was watching Pink Panther, I just felt like almost like I was watching a Picasso painting come to life. There was just something really
Yeah.
like psychedelic about that show that I liked.
Yeah, it was. I think that's a good word to describe it. It was like minimalistic and psychedelic,
Yeah,
It really was.
and
Really,
really
every episode was just like 10 minutes.
exactly. Really underrated too was they had that because old animation shows they were all like you said 10 minutes, so they would have like 10 minutes one episode and then 10 minutes at the end, but in the middle there'd be a block for another show, which leads me to The Ant and the Aardvark. Did you ever see that one?
Yeah, the end of the Aardvark. Yeah, that's
That
all.
was
I
like
also got
the middle
introduced-
block of Pink Panther.
Yeah, it was that. It was either that, or it would like alternate with like Spy versus Spy.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's how I got introduced to all those shows.
Yeah. Ant and the Aardvark was
Yeah,
great, man. The
yeah,
the ant was a Dean Martin impression, and then the Aardvark was a Jackie Mason impression, I think.
yeah,
They
yeah.
the like that's what the voice actors actually said. It might have even been the same
Mm.
guy. I could be wrong on that, but
Doing like the voices.
yeah. But he said like for the ant he was doing a Dean Martin impression, and then the Aardvark he was doing a Jackie Mason impression.
Yeah.
Okay, I got an obscure one for you.
Mhm.
The Secret Saturdays. Did you ever see
Let me
that
look
one?
that up. I have to look it up because I don't know if I saw it because it might have been named something else in Spanish.
It was a
Let me
family of
see.
cryptozoologists. So like they would hunt like different, you know, cryptids.
This looks familiar, but I don't think I've seen this. Yeah, I don't think I've seen the Secret Saturdays. It looked like a this is how I might have seen like an image of it before. It looks like they had like a crossover with Ben 10 at some point.
Oh, I think they did. Yeah,
Yeah.
believe they did.
Yeah. But it also reminds me of Danny Phantom, which I also really liked as a kid.
Oh yeah, yeah. I didn't see too much of Danny Phantom as a kid.
Oh, dude, I love Danny Phantom. Danny Phantom was great. It was great. All these shows are great, man. I don't remember like any of these shows negatively. Maybe Bieber versus Bieber, whatever that show called, Angry Beavers. I didn't like that show. And I saw as a kid I saw Angry Beavers like way more than I probably like would like to admit. Like as a kid I was just like as a kid I just like loved watching like cartoons. And sometimes I would just put up with like whatever the next show was. I loved watching Hey Arnold.
Yeah.
Sometimes it would be like, oh, in between Hey Arnold is gonna be, Angry Beaver or Cat Dog. Cat Dog I had a more positive relationship with, but Angry Beaver I don't like Angry Beaver at all. But I've seen a lot of that show. Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. Yeah, I never saw that one.
Angry Beavers. Yeah, dude, I've seen too many of these little like cartoons. Man.
Yeah.
Spider Man.
They were
Yeah.
great. What were
Well, go ahead.
I was just gonna ask, what were some of your favorites, dude?
Oh, dude, I mean, like I told you, Generator Rex, Ben 10, Hey Arnold, SpongeBob. When I got a little bit older, I saw these other ones, Adventure Time was one of the big ones, where I was like, oh, I love Adventure Time. Again, Avatar, The Last Airbender, all of these are my favorites. I loved all these shows. I
Yeah.
could sit down and watch any episode from these shows right now,
Oh
loved
yeah.
all of them. And I think Hey Arnold and like Avatar and Adventure Time, I think all of those like hold up like really well to like rewatching them like now as an adult, because
Yeah.
I might put on like Generator Rex right now and be like, oh geez, I wish I hadn't seen that. That could happen with me with like Spirit the Stallion or whatever. Where when I was a kid, I loved Spirit, loved that movie so much. It was my favorite movie, and then I saw it again as an adult, and I was like, oof. It was one of those moments, but I'm afraid with some of those shows that I might rewatch them and be like, oh man, I wish I hadn't seen that again. It just lived with the memory. But I know, Avatar: The Last Airbender. I know that show holds up. Adventure Time. I know that holds up. I know all of these shows are great.
I'm so overdue on The Last Airbender. It's not even funny.
Yeah,
It's
it's
so bad
great,
that I
dude.
haven't seen that. It's like a writer.
Yeah,
It's like one of the crown jewels of writing
yeah,
out there. Writers talk about that show all the time.
it's great. It's on Netflix. It's right there for you when you're ready.
Yeah, I really need to just
Yeah,
I gotta shift gears, Edward.
yeah. Hey, Jake,
um,
dude, you gotta shift gears.